with Minecraft 1.17 out, we got all the blocks we were excited for, okay? You got your amethyst crystals, and you got your copper, and of course, you even got your Blackstone, or not Blackstone, this deep slate. I almost called it Grimstone, too. But you got your deep slate. You got all the blocks that you were excited about, to build with, to play around with, to harvest, and to collect. But there are a few blocks that have been left in the dust. They are depressed and they're sad because nobody likes to use them. These are blocks that I personally feel like I've ignored a little bit. I've talked a lot about all the raw ores and all the azalea bushes and all those types of blocks, but here are a few blocks that I feel like go a little bit ignored when we're talking about 1.17. These are in no particular order, and the first block we're going to talk about is tough. It's just saying it out loud, it kind of seems like it's not even like a real block. Like tough. You're going to talk about tough. Are you tough? Did you even lift, bro? Here it is, naturally generating in the world. This is a big old chunk that I've deleted, except for the copper blocks when we talked about. Go check out the copper episode to see why I did this. But here it is, naturally generating. It generates near the floor of the world. So you have to go really far down, at least to Y level 16 or lower to find tough. It generates in these blobs, very similar to deep slate or really any of the other things that aren't stone. And here's what it looks like. It doesn't have, it can't be made into like anything else. You're not going to get like tough stairs or tough slabs or walls or anything like that. It's actually a pretty interesting looking stone. Placed next to the traditional stone blocks, which, is just plain old stone. I like to think of it as smooth stone, even though that is a new block now. Cobblestone and andesite, which is basically the foundation of all the castles that have been built in Minecraft. You can see that it does look a little bit green. It does have a different shade to it, where the others are really just types of grays. Tough does add a little bit of color to the mix, and its texture has a lot of texture. Like I know that sounds the same, but like I really enjoy that it has these sort of like almost swoops through it instead of the traditional grains that we have with stone, sort of the blobs that you have with cobblestone, or once again, I feel like this is almost like strokes that go through the andesite, where this has kind of like a larger area for its texture. And remember, brand new to 1.17, never seen before this update. The next block is calcite. So calcite generates in really small quantities. It generates in between the smooth basalt and the amethyst in a geode. So if you're getting calcite, it's if like you're gonna make a build out of calcite, you're gonna be searching for amethyst geodes like crazy and harvesting the outsides of them. Now, calcite has an obvious white texture, and this is pretty desirable because if you're trying to go for a clean look in Minecraft, it was like you only had the option of diorite before, or you had all of the quartz blocks to work with. And quartz is great and all, and I think quartz looks amazing. Quartz is old at this point. I remember when it was fresh and new and amazing. Quartz looks great, but it is super difficult to go to the nether and harvest, okay? Quartz can be a difficult block to get. Diorite, it's a little bit dirty in my opinion. Even the polished version of diorite has quite a lot of stuff going on it. It doesn't look nearly as clean as just quartz. And calcite, I feel like, fits kind of in the middle. It almost looks like clouds in a way, where calcite has a texture. It is a minimal texture. It's not quite as much as diorite, and it really fits in with a clean look. Really, the only thing cleaner would be white concrete, but I don't know. It's almost that doesn't have enough texture. Like, that's a little bit too bland if you're going to be building with it. Next, we're talking about calcite. So the block right next to it is smooth basalt. And there's not a ton to say about smooth basalt because we already have basalt in the game. And basalt, you know, I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not a massive fan of basalt. I do like that it can be placed down with an orientation like a log, and that it has, you know, multiple textures on it, so you can really get a lot of variation out of this one block. Smooth basalt is just a smooth texture on all sides. It doesn't have an orientation like normal basalt, and so you get this really rough and dark texture to it. You can make smooth basalt how you make most of these smooth things like smooth stone and whatnot, where you put it into a furnace and the output will be the smooth version of that block. So it's kind of nice that you can craft this to build with if you like the look of it. And then the only other natural place that it generates is on the outside of the amethyst geode. Now, smooth basalt does fit with a lot of the darker blocks that we've been getting. So here are the deep slate blocks, and fitting kind of naturally in there would be the smooth basalt. And then also the Blackstone and all the various Blackstone varieties that we've got. Now, smooth basalt and basalt in general can be made into stairs, slabs, and walls, but if you're just looking for a texture to kind of break up another, you know, look that you're building with, that it would fit kind of naturally with the much darker Blackstone or the little bit lighter deep slate, and you know, it fits right on in there. Next, we are moving out of for just a moment, the blocks that naturally generate into blocks that you can craft, and we're talking about tinted glass. This stuff is so amazing to me, and I'm shocked that we didn't have this before. It's just like normal glass, although it can't be dyed any other color than this dark color, so you can only have this singular color of tinted glass, and it works like an opaque block, but you can see through it. What does that mean? Is that it does not let light into or past this block, but it is still transparent to the player. So light doesn't pass through, but you can still see through it. Why is this useful? Well, I've already used this in a few types of farms where you want to make sure that you can kind of see inside, but the light level isn't being messed up in any way. So like, just as an example, if I'm inside of this hole and I put tinted glass above me, the hole becomes completely dark because the tinted glass isn't letting any light through, but we can actually see through it. Now it's hard to see because it's just dark on the other side. But tinted glass is amazing to me. I'm going to be using this in my skeleton farms, like my skeleton spawner mob farms. I've already used it in my axolotl and glow squid farm. So I just love this stuff, and I feel like I haven't seen a lot of people building with it or using it or kind of even remembering that this is a 1.17 block. And the final block that I feel like doesn't get enough love in 1.17, and we gotta travel all the way down here, my everything in 1.17, is this one, the Dripstone Block. Not Dripstone. I feel like, you know, the dripping dripstone, you know, the actual dripstone that everyone, you know, generates. People talk about that, okay? People are talking about how it can kill things, how you can make it drop, and all that stuff. But the block itself of dripstone is so unique. This is like such a weird block in Minecraft. It's like pink, but has like this really crazy texture, and it's kind of really difficult to get at the moment because it spawns so infrequently, and you can craft more of it given a lot of time if you have like a farm setup, because you can generate pointed dripstone. You can generate it this way. If you you know, break off all these drips, every once in a while it will grow like actual stalagmite or stalactite. So I think that this is just the texture alone is interesting, but also all the mechanics around this block are crazy interesting as well. If you are wondering, like, how do you craft it? You take your pointed dripstone and you put it in a 2x2, and then you get your dripstone block. as the output. In terms of its color family, so blocks that sort of have a similar color to it, there are a lot of pinkish blocks in Minecraft, right? Like I'm putting down a whole bunch of them right here. Where the thing that I feel like Dripstone really is super interesting is that it has such a different texture. Really, I just setting it down now, the jungle logs almost have a similar texture to it in a way, although it has a very, very green hue to it. But look at that. I mean, that is... it's so hard for me to describe a texture with a texture, but the skin of this block is very contrasting. The bright points and the dark points are very far apart from each other, and it really evokes like quite the texture here. So I just love that, and I feel like this can be used to really create something, you know, special and pop whenever you're incorporating this into a build. So those are some of the blocks that I feel like don't get enough love in 1.17, and hopefully with this video, I've given them some love. You know, I'm giving them the love right now so that I don't feel guilty that they didn't get love when I was making other videos about 1.17. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a like. Also, make sure you subscribe for future videos that I make. Turn on the bell to get notified when I publish a new video, and we'll see you in another video. Waffles coming in the last moment to say thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you later. Leave a comment down below if there's anything you think that I missed. Bye!